Hello again, Geeks and Gamers. Circuito back here again with another video. Yes, I'm putting tons of videos out right now. Loving playing all these games I get to play at my local game store, Gateway Games and More here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm getting the chance to play a ton of games, a ton of board games, playing some role-playing games. Not as many role-playing games as I'm used to, but hell, board games are great too. So let's talk about one of my favorites. It's called, and if you're a board gamer, you know all about this one. It's pretty hot right now. It's called Dominion. It's a game designed by Donald X. Baccarino, and it's been produced by Rio Grande Games. It's like I said, hugely popular, very hot game. It's started this trend in this style of games, and the style is called deck building games. If you've ever played a game like Magic the Gathering or Legend of the Five Rings, Warlord, any of these games, Pokemon even, that are sort of collectible card games where you build a deck and you play, it's similar in play, but instead of starting with a pre-built deck, you build your deck as you go and constantly recycle through your deck to get victory points. The goal is to actually buy victory points. The victory points come in the form of cards. As you'll see on the card down here at the bottom, there is a cost. That's 8 coins, and this is the value, 6 victory points. There are several cards that will help you cycle through your deck to get to cards faster. Things like, let me grab one here. There we go. Things such as the Smithy that costs 4 coins, and when you play it, it gets you 3 extra cards in your hand. Then you have money cards, such as the Copper Coin, which is worth 1 coin. You also have the Gold Coin, which is worth 3 coins. Different things like that, and lots of different methods to try to get to your end goal of getting the victory points. You have things such as the Cellar, which lets you get rid of cards you don't need from your hand to draw new cards. You have things like Feast, which is a lower point card. It's only 4 points, but it allows you later to discard this card, get rid of it, to get a card worth 4. So if you only have 4 gold available to buy, 4 coins available to buy something this turn, and you really actually want something that's 5, go ahead and buy a Feast if it's available, and when it comes out later, you can buy that 5 coin card that you wanted. Lots of different options. It's a great game, tons of cards, as you can see here. It's got a lot of cards in the game, and this is just the base game. There are several expansions to this game that add new techniques and new ways, again, to get to that end goal. The basic concept of the game is you start off the game with 7 copper coin cards, and 3 of what's called their estates, which is a single victory point card. And each turn, you draw 5 cards, and then you get 1 action, and 1 buy, and then you go from there. So an action card is something like before I mentioned that Smithy card, the one that gets you 3 extra cards. A buy is you can buy any card. Now when you set up the game, you're only going to have 10 available stacks of cards to buy from. And those can be done in several ways. Inside the rule book, there are setups, examples for you to set up stuff that they recommend. Then they also have inside the game something called these randomizer cards. They have a blue back or a blue border, but they're basically a card just like every other card that's in the game. You can shuffle these up and deal out 10 of them, and those are the cards you're going to play with. And then you can, those are the cards you can choose from. So because of that random element with this base game, you actually have the opportunity to play a lot of new and interesting variations on this same game. Because no game's going to be exactly the same. unless you play, even if you play the exact same setup multiple times, it's not going to play out the same way because you have the random element of what's in your deck and when it's going to come out. You have to kind of keep a few strategies in mind, things like you don't want to junk up your deck with too many cards. Things like these copper coins. As it gets later in the game, one coin is not going to help you too much. You want something bigger. So you either want to get rid of these cards or and replace them with something higher, like a silver, which is worth 2 coins, or a gold worth 3 coins. Or you want to cycle through your cards as quickly as you can so you can get a whole bunch of these in your hand. Things like that. So there's a lot of different strategies, a lot of different options. I really, really enjoy this game. There are, like I said, tons of deck building type games out there. This is really the only one that I've played a decent amount of. I've looked at a few others like Nightfall. I haven't really played that, just kind of looked at it. Quarriors is another game that's along this same element. Now, it's dice-based instead of card-based, but it still has the same basic idea. You have a play table with certain items you can buy with points, and then you put them in a dice bag, which is your deck, and you shuffle that up, and then you draw stuff out, and you play those. So, it's along the same lines, but it is a little different because it's dice instead of cards. But I really enjoy this game. I don't get to play it as much as I'd like to. You can play this game online. I know that there are several places for you that you can do that. If you do a search on Google for Dominion Online, you can find places online to play it. But that's Dominion by Donald S. Vaccarino and, Rio Grande Games. I really think you should check it out. I think you're going to enjoy it. It is a fun game, and it's got tons of strategy. People who like strategy games will like this. People who like card games will like this. People, again, who like things like Magic and other collectible card games are also going to enjoy this game. So, check it out.